We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Did I say welcome to the main event?
Run that thing back, bro. You mad?
Oh, man.
Behave before you talk about what I'm talking about, yeah?
Disclaimer.
Run that thing back. Nah, man, stay there in your corner, man. Run that thing back, fam. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
We are live, guys. I'm J.R.R, the Cyber Nerds.
Raven your GS.
Mr. Blitztech.
And we're back for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 1, finale, Season 1, wrap-up, discussion, all of them things there. Now, just to make sure that the power's flowing through you correctly, make sure you're subscribing to the channel, hitting the thumbs up, and pressing the notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop a banger. The finale's here, bro.
Hey, what's good, fam? If you enjoyed this video, check out our TCN community where you will get private Discord access to join us in chatting about all things movies and trailers, participating in our debates, and even submit your requests on which ones we watch. You also get access to our full movies, animes, and series reactions, so don't miss out. The link to join the community will be pinned comment.
Get me? I feel like it's taken so long to get here due to the fact that each episode's like 2 hours long, but we're here, the season's over. What are your thoughts on the episode, the season? Like, we're just...
You know, speaking of powers flowing properly, the powers definitely didn't flow properly throughout the season. But towards the end, they kind of like niced it up, innit? So throughout the season, I want to say it's tough to watch this. It was tough to watch this throughout the season, especially when you was like, you know, being so excited to being on board of the whole Lord of the Rings journey. You know, that's something that we spoke about many times. You know, we really want to get in. There was those episodes that felt man hard, but then, you know, the last few episodes really brought man back in. Obviously, since the whole Mordor was made, and then with this episode, these man coming straight from the beginning, talking about that was Sauron, but then we was like, you lot trying to be slick with it. We're pretty sure this is not Sauron. And then just there's things they did really nice with this last episode, you know what I'm saying? And I enjoyed what they did with it.
Yeah, man, it's a good finale. Like, it finally feels like this is what we should have been watching from the first episode. I think we watched the first three.
First three,
So it feels like if you binge watch this, you would enjoy it a lot more. But this finale just wraps up everything nicely. Everything we've been asking for from the show is all here. Like, the characters are way better. The story's way better. Like, the payoff is actually very good.
Very good.
Like, yeah. And even with some characters missing that I liked throughout the whole season, at least we've seen them previously, and the story kind of ends well. So, like, I think you were saying as well, the last three arcs of this whole season is good, which makes you believe that they wrote it backwards. It's almost like they were like, this is where it ends here. How do we go back with it? That's why I feel like some episodes were dead. Some episodes had good parts and bad parts, but yeah, it's just been leading up to a very good ending, and I'm glad we just kind of got here in the end.
Yeah, man. I feel the same way, man.
I was going to say, because you mentioned binge watching it. By the end of this episode, I was like, I need to watch this whole thing, like, all together.
That's
like,
wild, isn't it? Like, when you said binge watching, I'm like, nah, bro. Like,
the episode, haven't been watching it.
But even I hear that, but the episodes are so long, bro. It's like a 12-hour binge watch, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? This is probably as long as the movie trilogy.
I was gonna say, if people do that, right? They're like, oh, let's get the ultimate experience of Lord of the Rings, which is 12 hours.
Yeah.
Probably what, 15 in it? Is it 15?
6, 9. It depends what ultimate experience you're asking for, bro. The director's cut
That's
all of that, bro.
I cut ones and then just binge watch it, but it isn't this. I don't know.
I mean, I can't fully binge watch it, but I would definitely say like try to like watch back to back in sort of like every day, kind of watch one. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like even coming to the end and seeing the kind of stuff they're talking about, now I want to go back and try to have a proper flow to watch this thing instead of just being like, now that I know what's to come out of it.
You're being ambitious with that, bro.
Like, now that I know what's to come out of it, I'm like, okay, how many is that?
Okay.
9.
And then one to rule them all.
Bam.
There you go.
Like I said.
So, yeah.
Get me. Nah, man, I feel like, obviously, I think since episode 6, episode 6 kind of reinvigorated me into the show. Because it was like, all right, look, you lot are doing a madness, but you definitely understand what's happening here. And you know what I'm saying? From there, it's been super fire. I think the episodes before then, I want to say, like, I was saying it during the watch along, and if you want to watch our full watch along of the series, head over to patreon.com/thecybernerds. That I love that we've been complaining about how OP Galadriel was, and I love that her OPness is almost led to, you know what I'm saying, the empowerment of the enemy. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, it's not like it washes all of the madness she was doing away, but it makes me feel like, yeah, like, do you know what I'm saying? There was a, what do I even say? There's a repercussion to how strong they made her.
Yeah.
Because she could get through everything, and she was getting through everything, helping further my man's agenda in terms of Sauron. Do you know what I'm saying? And I love that. Then I love the conversation that they're having, Sauron and Galadriel's having on the finale, where he's like, you pushed me into doing every single thing till we get in here. I was out there, I was shipwrecked, I was almost more, when you think back to how he was on the ship, he was like, bruv, I'm done. It was like he was even grieving for being on so much crud before. Do you know what I'm saying? And saying that, nah, you drew me back in, you've shown me a new light, like, you showed me a new way I can live. I'm on it now. Do you know what I'm saying? And now, her dispelling him is also gonna send man on another dark path. Like, bruv, like, she is actually, bruv, her OPness is actually the catalyst for everything happening. And so now it's like, keep going, and bruv, they're giving her a ring at the end.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I'm saying, bruv? Right. It's even madder, bruv. So I love what they've done in the last few episodes. But this episode, I think, was fire. In terms of, like, the directing, the using the budget correctly, fam. It's like, in the first 5 episodes, they're giving the budget to people who don't know what to use the budget for. So they're making high-vis graphics of maps and doing long panning slow shots, L'Oreal commercials, all of this, bruv. But in the last 3 episodes, they're like, no, we're using this to enhance how epic these things are. Like the volcano erupting, fam. There's bare mad transitions in this last episode of, like, the rings going into the eye, the flip when Sauron's in a dream sequence where they're on the boat and it flips up. Bruv, that is, listen, firstly, I'm not saying that you should be spending 60 million an episode, but if you're gonna, do it like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, no other show is doing this. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think, like, that's where they can set themselves apart in terms of how much they're spending on the budget. But yeah, man, like, they really plugged man back in with these last 3 episodes.
They haven't started shooting the second season, have they?
I think it's been green lit.
It's been green lit, okay. Because I hope they take the criticisms that, you know, we've been talking about and make the next season better. Like, because, you know, one of the things that we spoke about a lot was the mismanagement of the episodes, like stuff that we should be spending more time on instead of, you know, these 10-second visual clips that brings nothing to the table. You know what I'm saying? And even characters as well. So I just hope there's a better flow for next season. Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people were complaining about it, but now being here is like, bruv, like, this is sick. The dialogue they were having today was like mad.
I think the best thing that they did in this episode as well is the characters. Like, the story is fine, but what elevates everything else, like, we've been seeing it in House of Dragon, barely anything happens apart from 1 or 2 scenes, obviously more towards the end, but the conflicts you're always seeing between someone's
interpersonal conflict
thing here and there, legit. And now we see with Galadriel and, what's his face? Sauron, or the guy has many names throughout God knows how many years. Like you're saying, like, she's been helping my man when she actually was trying to fight against him. Her blade that her brother gave her has got the most precious metals to now create the rings, which now we know might corrupt. Or those conflicts there are actually super legit.
Yes.
She's hearing stuff like, my man, oh, we got to do this, flesh over, whatever. She's like, sorry, what? All this stuff she should be picking up, and then those would be conflicts she's having within herself and to those people. And not only does that, the king should be having conflict with this person here, that person here, like everyone everywhere should have a conflict. If they don't do that, then it's like the problem they had throughout this whole season is that they had a conversation, and most of the time within the same episode, it would just get shut down and solved. They're dead. But the thing I liked about as well was Elrond and the other dwarf guy. We had like 3 episodes of them, man, always like
going back and forth.
That's why I like that relationship.
Keeping
Even with his dad as well.
100%.
That was at one point, oh, I want you to be doing this, doing that. He finds out he's not going behind his back. No, shutting that stuff down. Bro, those episodes were legit. When they were just not present, was dead.
I love that, and even with this, I love the whole relationship between the blind queen, the general now, and what's happened with her dad and the general's daughter, because these lot left, and it was like, oh, don't go help. When they're coming back, the queen's blind, the general's lost his son, the general's daughter has looked into the eye and is now maybe can see the future, because the king obviously said that, yo, I looked into the eye too long and it drove me mad. I can't tell the difference between past, present, and what's going on now. That's what obviously got man usurped from the throne. But now you've got someone who's almost like a she should potentially be like an oracle. You know what I'm saying? As someone who was, I was working for the king. He showed me this. My man died. Just that transfer of energy there, bruv. It's all mad, and them coming back, bruv. And the king laying it down, saying, yo, if we don't return to the old ways, we're getting washed. The queen's already had that vision as well, fam. And now I want to know, like, why did the queen have that vision?
It's almost like, I don't know.
Like, why? How can she have like? I just want to know if that's magical. Do you know what I'm saying? The premonition of the city getting waxed, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the dad knows that.
I just hope whoever sees that eye is the most greatest fear then. So obviously the king said he looked in too long. He's trying to almost rectify whatever he saw. So maybe he wanted to bring elves in where maybe it showed him about driving him away or something. Yeah. She's seeing it getting worse, so she's trying to do the most for not to happen.
Opposite, yeah.
So hopefully now the girl's seeing something where it's like, that's the most worst thing that can happen. Now again, if she has a conflict with her and the queen about opposing ideas. Yeah. And then the dad's in the middle.
You know, That's fire, bro. For me, it's like the only thing I'm questioning with the king is like, yo, why the king didn't plug his daughter into looking in the eye? Or maybe he did and we don't know.
Didn't she look at it? It was the wave thing, right?
Yeah, it was the wave thing. Yeah.
She looked into the secret room.
No, for her it was like a dream.
She had a dream. Her thing was a dream sequence.
Not because of the eye.
Not because of the eye. The eye we just got. Yeah.
And and remember, they didn't even really reveal whether it was the eye here, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, he might just have a crystal ball, but there is a crystal ball that has the eye. You know what I'm saying? That they're looking at in the series. So I actually love that. It's like, first, it's like, oh, watch Lord of the Rings so we know more. But at this point, it's like, man's still so baffed from what's going on in the show. Like, I'm just going to exist in here and lean on the knowledge I do know, which is from the game, which is actually helping me more in terms of knowing about Celebrimbor, who's definitely on some serious crud, fam. Serious, bro. Even the three of them in general, like, the way they're moving, it's not wild, but the king said, hey, you man allow it. We ain't got time for that. And then them man did it as well. And now, you know Galadriel, she's going to need the power that Sauron was offering her because she's going to feel guilt and want to take Sauron down. Celebrimbor's just like, yo, I want to build stuff. Like, I've made these 3 rings. I need more of that metal to make something bigger. And this is probably how we're going to get to 9 rings, fam. Because if the 3 of them separate, she's going after Sauron. He's probably just going to try and find more of these alloys. And I don't know what the other youth's doing. He's probably going to go try and save the elves.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, the next season has, like, they've peppered it up very well for a lot of madness to go down, fam.
Everyone's in the Genjutsu apart from the Arrow, bro.
I want to see what they're going to do with Gandalf as well and the little girl. Like, them two going off. But, yeah, man, the relationships that they've done with this is mad. You know, you was talking about the wave thing. I was thinking more of, like, consequences based on what people do. Because even the king... you know, from the mind thing, his son was like, yo, we're not doing this and that because you're so scared of doing this and that. And then last episode, he threw something through the wall, which then
the leaf.
The leaf thing. So could that also be like similar to the wave kind of thing? So it's like, if you dwell on your fears or whatever, or if you're going by greed, these are the things that may come to happen.
I don't think he's even doing either, though.
I think the wave's happening. I think that's set. I don't think that is an optional timeline. Right. I think the city's getting waxed. And I think the king knows if these men don't change their ways, that's what's going to happen. And I don't think they are going to change their ways. I think that's going to be the conflict for that place. But for me, that place has got to get waxed, bro. Has to be out of here, fam. Has to be.
Where?
Has to be. Nah, man. It's actually crazy. There was a couple things else I wanted to to touch on. What I want to do is go back to the Anna episode, and I want to see if there's any communications between Sauron and Anna, because Anna says he killed Sauron. Do you know what I'm saying?
I believe it.
Bro,
Yeah,
I don't
think
think he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if them two ever came into actual contact, if them man ever had a conversation, because he was there, weren't he, bruv? So bruv, or maybe
didn't you see man? And that's when you run.
this is what I'm saying. I want to go and examine those sequences again. I mean, like, bruv, is there a moment where they look at each other and know, or like what happened? Like what's going on there, bruv? Because for him to say he killed Sauron, I'm like, all right, cool. At least you know who man is. And for him to have been there at the same time, why was there no crossover? Or did they hide the crossover from us because they know these men are linking up later down the line? You get me? So it's actually all mad. It's actually all mad. What are you, man, rating the finale?
For me, it's a solid 4. Like everything I've just been asking for, just came to it now. Good conclusion. We finally saw the rings.
Finally.
Or some rings.
Some
rings.
But yeah, just like the conflict, the characters, everything was shining. The action was actually pretty good in this. We actually saw where the budget's going in this. Music was banging as well.
Yeah, music
everything was
stupid.
Finally.
legit.
Bloody hell.
Everything was super legit. But I feel like it was still missing. Maybe it's the runtime. Maybe it's just like it just.
I think let me hold it until. What's yours?
Nah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 simply because it's helped me understand more. Like it brought everything back together for me. Do you know what I mean? I specifically remember there was one episode where I was like on the edge because I thought I found something. I finally understood. And today that kind of brought me back in, and everything they've done with it, the visuals, the transitions, like even the explanation of characters and the way they come through. You even mentioned, like you was breaking down Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf this and that, and then even the other guy saying, "Yo, I killed Sauron." So is it like, okay, I'll kill. So imagine these two guys keep going back and forth, and he kills him, and he always comes back, some sort of thing. So is there some sort of like reincarnation between these guys?
It's funny because when the three Sauron supporters had Gandalf, they said he's the other one, and almost like it was a parallel to Sauron,
like a yin yang.
So like, yeah, if one, like let's say one dies or they both die, they both have to come back. So I would like them to get more, and this is the information that we should have been having, bruv, because Sauron's going around, and this is why I clocked earlier that it was Sauron. It was like he was any place they went, he was deep on the mythology, bruv. Like he was trying to learn about what was going on previous to now, bruv. And it's like, bruv, the person who knows about history knows what's about to happen in the future. Do you get what I'm saying, bruv? Because these things repeat themselves. So I just thought that was super legit. But I do want them to I would like them to make a deeper link between Sauron and Gandalf, but then at the same time, from my understanding of those two characters in the movies, there's no real link like that. So then on that, I like what they've done with him and Galadriel, where it's almost like a Kylo Ren and a Rey thing, where it's like, we could be together and do this thing, but at the same time, there's things that are going to keep us apart, so we're going to be at each other's necks. In terms of my rating, I'm going to have to slap it with a 4, because I wanted to give it more, but I think it's not the runtime for me. I think it's the everything that got us to here, and them not just, it's not like they're throwing stuff at the wall in this episode. It's like they knew what was on the wall, but the threads that got us here weren't strong enough for me to give it more than a 4, even though I think this was a banging episode. I just have hope for season 2 that like we get more episodes 6, 7, and 8 energy, and they don't feel that like, because we're building up to a finale, we have to ratchet it up, and understand that, this show should be ratcheted up from episode. Like every episode actually needs to be an epic, not just in terms of cinematography and all. Like the dialogue's got to be sick, the cinematography's got to be sick, the interweaving stories and connecting, like the plot, all of it has got to be on 10 every single episode, and that's gonna just make the season better in general, man. And I just like where we ended. Do you know what I'm saying? We finally got some rings. We've got a whole bunch of characters revealed to us. Like, let's go hard, man. Positive energy and vibes to these lot. So, the finale gets a big fat 4 for season 1 of the Rings of Power. Ladies and gentlemen, jump in the comment section below. Let us know what you're thinking about this season. Has it lived up to expectation? Has it been a disappointment? Are you excited for season 2? Will you not be watching season 2? In the comment section below. But before you do all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and press the notification bell so you can get notified every time we're dropping a banger. The full Patreon reaction for season 1 is on patreon.com/cybernerds. Check it out there if you haven't already. Other than that, I'm Jay, 1/3 of the Cyber Nerds.
Raven your GS.
Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
See you on the next one.
Peace.
I